Ah, it is that time of the day again. That time of the morning, shall I say. Let me see. What I do, I tag a lot of people when I'm doing this. Yeah, only a few of it comes up. So I'm probably going to end up tagging a lot of people once this is done. Yes. Yeah, so I think, yeah. I still have more that I gotta tag. But I ain't gonna let the few that is on it just let me see. Yeah. Okay, I can remember all this. Yeah, so today, another beautiful day. It was actually funny. I didn't run yesterday, but what I just realized is that my 366 days of running ended a couple of days ago. 365. So yesterday was like a celebration. So I just took that day off. I don't even know. For some reason, it was harder for me not to come out than actually running itself, because I have to really convince myself, just stay, don't worry. Oh, it's raining. Oh, you can't go. Wait for a little bit. I just kind of dooble around and do all type of stuff yesterday. And lately, during this run, I have been actually stopping, and I walked that 1 mile or two just to kind of just view my opinion and just talk a little. It has been a very interesting journey, and I've been saying lately that I have been practicing yoga for over 10 years now, and I've studied, I've read books upon books, just study science, meditation. I wanted to know the whole thing about the whole body. And I think when I had a little setback, 4 or 5 years ago, when I had an accident, the yoga became even more intense. So I began to practice 4-5 hours a day. So like now, every morning I have a 5-hour session. That's the 4.5 hours of stretching and doing the push-ups. Because what I started to do right now is every single pose is a push-ups. So during that pose, I have to make sure I go in 400 push-ups every morning. And by the time I get to like that 300, I have to stop and eat a little, continue doing that push-up very slow. And you know how the yoga mat is designed. So and I'm doing all the stretching, and I'm like, what the biscuit? And during that time, I have a lot of time to actually think, not just about me, but about other people. It also gave me the opportunity to actually contemplate and be able to see. I like this saying, that's why I kind of just point the camera in there, and be able to see things not just from my point of view, but from other people's point of view. The whole thing about spirituality and God and metaphysics is what got me running in the first place, because I truly wanted to understand the meaning of those things. So with this 4-hour practice of mine, 5 hours in total every morning, and the stretching and the push-ups, I started to even realize certain parts of my body that I've never taken notice of. It's really funny how for a while, my whole left side of me was actually paralyzed, and I didn't realize it. I did kind of have an idea when I saw a chiropractor and it was doing something, and they said, well, there's energy here, but there's not energy here. So I'm looking at it and thinking, mother biscuit, you have lost your mind. But lately I begin to feel it, because my spine, everything is losing up, because every morning I get on my toes, I do push-ups. And I started to feel it, and I started to feel the left side. I even started to feel the jaw. It's really funny, just a simple exercise in the morning. When you move your jaw just like this, you can actually pop your feet. It's so crazy. You could move your jaw and you could feel it by your ankles. Do we hear that? So what has begun to happen right now is the more I channel my body with my whole self and begin to do the more yoga, the more meditation, and running. Look at that beautiful view. Running is just another movement. And I always say this, that the beauty about running is it can become an ego booster. And that ego booster is once in a while, after a couple of maybe like 26 miles, we think we're such an expert at running. But for me, after many years, and I'm talking about over 45,000 miles in total. You know, I've run 100 miles, and I feel like I don't have anything to prove anymore when it comes to running. I'm not trying to prove anything. That's why I show up at the ultra whenever I feel like it. Because I haven't really run an ultra in a while too. But like for example, this year, I have literally run, every weekend I've run a marathon. I've run 2 marathons every weekend this year. Absolutely amazing. And I remember when I used to do 6 to 5 marathons in a year, and I used to just walk around and think, yeah, I was the bomb. But in reality, I wasn't actually doing anything because I was still limiting myself. But when I begin to look at this bird, it's just dancing with life. I don't know if anyone can see it. When I begin to push myself further, look at that bird. They are just dancing with it. Ain't that some biscuit? That's nature right there. So when I begin to push myself further with the meditation, the yoga, and the push-ups, look at those 2 birds are just dancing with life, with push-ups and doing all those things. I was actually shocked about my whole body. The healing that you could actually do. It's really funny. You will think with this amount of running that I do not take no vitamins. I cannot remember the last time I put a pill in my mouth. I don't take no vitamins. I don't take no shakes. All I just do is, what do I do? Eat rice, beans, snack on an apple, an avocado, broccoli. But the main thing is my water. Here in America, we say water. My water. I'm talking about this because I want, for all the British people in the house, you know what I mean? I got to proper once in a while. My water consumption in the morning is actually a gallon. I drink a gallon of water every morning. So what it does, it balances my whole system where I don't really need to eat a lot. I eat very little. To the extent that now when I overeat, I fall asleep. So, and what the yoga and meditation has really taught me how to do is breathing wise. A lot of people think that they know how to breathe. We know how to breathe consciously, but subconsciously we don't really know how to breathe because we've never really practiced that. There's a lot of science, a lot of things in this human body that we don't even understand. But in order to actually tap into it, it's almost like you have to do simple little things that we not even take of. Like I breathe in through my nose a lot every morning. I yell, you name me, I do all that. And what it has done, it makes running, I don't really get tired anymore. And all I need is a couple of hours naps, and I'm okay the next day. And it has also changed my whole view on life too. My intellect, my thinking, the whole thing behind spirituality, God, and especially from reading different scriptures, and I begin to realize, wow, this is really funny. They are all sending the same message, but it's just written. The contents of most of it is just written in a different, how do I say it? Different literature or different ideology that makes you want to think. I don't think all these scriptures are far away from science. It's just that it's been spoken about. And because we put everything in a box, we do not see the coloration. We don't see the combination of it all. It's really funny because I have been through the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Bhagavad Gita, Jain, Buddhism, Hinduism. I studied them all because I wanted to know. Then the whole thing with the Ifa culture, my whole African tradition. And I come to realize that when I begin to study all those things, the first thing that actually disappeared in me is the whole idea about the material things. I just wasn't really all about that anymore. And when you see materialism from a different angle, people don't understand it. And the mind is so powerful because what makes one happy doesn't make the other happy. So I always tell people, for me, when I saw my son being born, I knew I can run 100 miles. I was just shocked that a woman can push out a baby. That just blew me away. It just blew me the biscuit away. If that's not a miracle, because to me, that's a miracle that nobody even talks about. Giving birth. We go about all these different stories. We talk about a lot of things, but we never talk about the miracle of birth that happens every single day, right a couple of miles away from us. We never talked about it. We don't even think that's a miracle. We don't even look at it as God. And when we do talk about it, we just slang it. It's just, oh yeah, she's having the baby, oh, she's pregnant. But to me, that really opened my eyes. And when I saw my son being born, I knew I can run 100 miles. And I kid you not, 45,000 miles later, don't worry, I'm not going to disturb you. 45,000 miles later, I can't stop running. And what it has done is it makes me want to push myself further. And it requires humbleness to be able to push your body that way. You got to be humble. And that's what I've actually done over the last 10 years. Like I always say, it has cost me a lot of friends, families, because people just don't understand it. And the one thing that I can keep thinking about is, wow, you know what? I have been an atheist, a theist, an agnostic. I mean, I've just been on all that route, and I come to that conclusion. Plus with my own traditional beliefs as well. That's why you see I wear beads like this and just wanted to hang out. I just don't see much of a difference in the scriptures anymore. Every time I think about myself, all I can think about, remember what they said, the story about Job? I'm like, man, that is so true. I've tried what everyone else tried. It just didn't go my way. And because of that, I've learned how to truly look at myself in the eye and laugh at myself so much. Hilarious. I wake up more, I have my days too, and I sit down here and think, why is this? And after a little while, I'm like, you know what? I guess in this life, what I'm saying is, we all have different journeys. Find your passion. Find your own journey. Stop listening to, I'm going to put it this way. Stop listening to all these people who like to get engaged in overeating, over-sexing, over-drinking, and all that bullcrap. Listen to your inner being. Because at the end of the day, the word discipline, consistency, that biscuit is hard. And that's one of the reasons why I respect all the athletes. Anyone who's an athlete that is on top of his game. You can see all those athletes because they are on the mainstream, they get paid. But for someone like myself who has a passion for what I do, It's not heard of because it's not something that you see on the TV or all that. But what it takes to do this every day, this is a 10-hour preparation every single day. I literally spend 10 hours doing this every day. Too many people say, you got to, and you can imagine when I was in the corporate world, so plus that was 20 hours. But now it's 10 hours every day just to control the mind and be at the stage of peace every day. So my hands getting a little cold. Yeah. I think I might get in like 16 or 17 miles in today. I'm going to start tracking along. Move a little bit. Not too fast, but just, I keep saying, just enough to move my body. But I always say to all the miracles that's happening every second, and I'm talking about the mothers pushing out the baby. Just knowing that a woman can push out a baby makes the whole thing. Going out to run a 20 mile, 15 mile, 26 mile, it makes it look so easy. Just knowing that there's a woman pushing out a baby. So to that, I'm gonna say stay balanced. Don't lean so much on your masculine side. Lean into the feminine too. There's a yin and a yang. So let me continue this run. I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but I'm just all excited and just smiling. Woo, it's a little cold. So let's get this ready. And I've been given this great opportunity to run in the woods, and I kid you not, I have prayed and prayed and chant and chant and chant my head out. You want to pray and meditate and seek that higher power, that energy, whatever the biscuit you want to call it. There is just an existence. I'm putting it in the modern day tongue. Intelligent design does exist. So every time I look into nature, that's all I see. Because lately, like I said, I have prayed and chant and chant and chant and asked questions, and I've blamed the whole world. But at the end of the day, it always circles back. Who is the cause of everything? Me. Gotta go. Let me start developing this speed, and happy Thursday. Give a gift of life. Listen to somebody. One love.